Hello and welcome to the Happy PharmD podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Barker, CEO and founder of the Happy PharmD and head coach and a bunch of other things too. And in this episode, we are joined by Nicole Keenan. Nicole is our client's success advocate. You could say she is kind of like a coach after the coaching program. She has joined us recently on the team and has been helping our pharmacist clients continue their journey after their official coaching program. She steps in to help hold people accountable and help them maintain their career momentum. In this episode, we'll be sharing a little bit about her journey, her story, her midlife crisis, not midlife, but you don't want to say that publicly because that ages someone. Her career crisis is what I meant to say, and how she overcame it, what she went into, as well as what she has learned after watching pharmacists go from just looking for a job to saying no to too many opportunities, and what she has seen pharmacists do to gain success in the career world. I think you'll enjoy this conversation between, I would say, two good friends, but as well as the magic sauce of what makes a great career. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Alex.
Thanks for hanging out with us today in the podcast.
It's great to be here.
Every conversation with you is always fun.
Aw, thank you.
every time. And I think it's great to give people a little bit of context. I would love to hear from your perspective how we met.
I love this. So I was at a conference and I was getting ready to meet with a group that I was working with. We were presenting. And one of our co-presenters said, I have some friends, I'm going to dinner. We're going to come back and can they join us? And we're like, of course, that'd be great. And so I meet Alex, and I remember him asking me a little bit about my background. And my first comment to him was, I don't really fit here. I was at a pharmacy conference. And his eyes kind of lit up and he was like, what do you mean? And I said, I'm a career counselor and I work with pharmacists. And it just, from that point, conversation exploded. I had no idea. And then it was at that point, I realized Alex Barker, the Happy PharmD, because I had been looking and, looking at information, listening to things, but I just didn't put the two together. And I was so excited to meet you, Alex, because I actually had written down in my journal that I needed to try to find you at this conference. And here we were.
I love chance meetings. And I think in our conversation, I had said to you, I've got to figure out how to work with you.
Yes.
Is my memory wrong on that?
No, you said that. And I thought, oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, I wasn't joking. You're a part of the team.
No, you weren't.
I figured it out.
And I just have to say this, Alex, you sent me a really thoughtful and personal follow-up after that conference. And that meant so much to me. I remember it was really at that point that I thought, how can I not work with someone?
Yeah, I practice what we preach in our program. Follow-up is incredibly important after conferences or meeting with anybody. And I think you had said I sent you was it a voice or was it a video message?
I did a video message.
Yeah. Okay.
I have it. I saved it.
I'll be honest, I totally forgot about that, but I'm glad it left an impression. When you and I first met, I didn't know what exactly we would have you do. I thought maybe it would be like coaching or maybe you would be involved somewhere else. But as time went on, we had our annual retreat for all of our coaches, and some of the core team members were able to come. And we recognized that our clients needed some support once their coaching sessions were over, to the point where I was like, oh, this is a separate position. Our coaching program obviously doesn't last forever. But when it's over, we've now changed so much since we've hired you. But that's where we ultimately came up with the role for you as client. It was supposed to be, wasn't it like the original title was client success manager or something like
Yes.
that?
Yes.
And you said you hated the word manager.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that fits.
Yeah, so you chose advocate.
Yeah, advocate.
Excellent. And it's been a crazy and fun journey to both figure out what that role is and how it's been implemented. I think I started off initially saying to you, just help people. And I don't think I gave much more direction other than that.
Which was wonderful, because I love to help people. And I think, one of the things that I really needed to do is learn more about what we were doing, what our goals were for our clients, and also what our clients' goals were. So it was really a great season of me just using my counseling background and just getting in there and just seeing, what am I learning about the program from the client's perspective? And what am I learning from the program from the leadership perspective? And so I think it was a really great experience to not only get to dive in, but also to really create it and continue, even to this day, editing what I do, for the program.
Yeah, I've never been a good micromanager, and I don't want to do that. I really love the idea of you just doing what you're really good at. And from that initial meeting, I knew that you really cared about people, and I knew that you had a very good eye for listening, which is, of course, so important for any coach. And in a way, I know that you kind of are coaching people after their initial coaching sessions. And, through your efforts, like I already know a handful of stories of pharmacists that have gotten jobs and have gotten interviews just because you're there and you're supporting people. Um, I think it has lent itself really well, your background in career counseling for years for pharmacy students. In fact, you started off saying you confessed that you didn't feel like you belonged at that conference. No, 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 nay, nay, nay. I think you're one of the best people that we needed at that conference. Has your perspective on that has shifted at all? Do you feel like you belong at the Happy PharmD?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I
Of course, the CEO is asking that. So that's not very
I feel
fair.
so much belonging. Like, for those of you who don't know, especially, I think it's important to let the audience know we are very connected as a group. And so I really appreciate that. Even if my daily responsibilities don't lend me the time to be able to meet with the group, there's always an opportunity to reach out and to be in touch with the staff. And I really appreciate that. And always, Alex, I can just text you, Alex, and I appreciate that.
Yes, you've got my digits. Happy to connect anytime. What kind of led you into the path of career counseling?
I'm so glad you asked me that question. I hoped you would ask me that question. So, Alex, I want to admit to you, like many of our clients, I chose a career at a point in my life that I thought, this is it. This is what I'm going to do forever. And as I got into that career, I started to learn more about who I was and what my gifts were and my strengths. And I really found myself in a bit of a crisis because I chose a career that I personally didn't want to be a part of or do formally. I still wanted to use my background, and I still wanted to teach, but I didn't want to teach in a formal way or in a school. And so I went through a career crisis, and I need to share with you, it still took me some time to figure out what that was. I knew I loved helping people. I knew I loved working with people, but I also needed to really decide what type, like what group of people, and I really settled into higher education.
What led you to that, though?
Oh, what led me to higher ed? All of my experience. So I was in a sorority. I worked in the admissions office as a college student. I was involved in just about everything you could be involved in. I really dove in on my college experience and fell in love with it. I was an RA. There were just so many aspects of that. And I think I just didn't, at that point, over 20 years ago, that wasn't necessarily a career people talked about, or you can read in a book, like you can work in student affairs or higher education. And so I didn't know about it. And so I went through a bit of a crisis thinking, okay, well, what next?
Interesting. So your environment kind of informed the next career decision, which is also common for not just pharmacists, but anyone in their careers, right? What you are exposed to can often inform a career decision.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know that you transitioned from specifically not just generalist higher ed, but into pharmacy.
Yes.
What was that decision like? Because pharmacy is very niche. You probably had no clue about pharmacy before that.
I didn't actually, and the position that I'm in full time didn't exist. It was a newly created position, and the college was really having a hard time finding someone who had a variety of experiences. So at that point, I had teaching, I had advising, I had career counseling. There were so many aspects that I had that I didn't realize was going into this very new type of field in higher education, which was student success. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed making sure students were successful. And so the college found me actually on LinkedIn. I wasn't looking for a position at the time.
And now you're helping pharmacists get success with us. What
Yes.
has been some of the more rewarding aspects of the role within our company? What have you enjoyed the most?
I really enjoy, so a strength of mine is individualization. And I think one of the things that I truly enjoy, two-part, within the company, within the leadership, and with my teammates, I enjoy that we have very different backgrounds. And we're actually in a lot of different places and in different countries too. And that is just amazing. What I love and thinking about the clients is that same aspect. I really go in with a blank slate, not making any assumptions of maybe where our clients are, or what they've been through or what they're doing, but really just like to go in there listening. Where are they currently? What are they looking for? What are their gaps? And really just trying to keep that on an individual level, and what their individual needs are as well, because clients have a variety of needs, and I just don't like to go into it with an assumption.
I think I knew you would do the job well when I threw you to the lions, as it were, with like the first challenge I gave you. Do you remember this? specific, we don't need to say the name because I know he wants to remain anonymous, but there was a client that we had helped in our coaching program. We got him out of his retail chain job and he got into a community focused job, but doing more of the work he wanted to, more patient care. And then that company sold to the company that he just walked away from. So he chose unemployment again. I had learned about this and I was like, this is a great opportunity for Nicole. You had no prior training with us. I just was like, go help this person. Do you remember?
I do. And I remember that client also well. And I think it really was just listening, not just, there's so much more to this than a job. It's thinking about family dynamics. It's thinking about those personal needs that someone has, but also really, getting a better understanding of where is that client right then. Do we have to find a job tomorrow, or what kind of time frame is the client comfortable with? And I remember for that client in particular, it was just about some accountability and encouragement. This is a phenomenal client who has a lot of strength, but it was just a really hard time, and just being there to support and encourage. And that's a role that I enjoy so much, is just being there to point out the strengths, being there to point out what is working, and brainstorming. And that's what we did. And it turned out really well for that client.
Well, yeah, they got a job. They got a job after they worked to get a job originally with us. 2 jobs in like 3 months or something like that, or 4 months.
I think 4.
And his partner just had a baby too during that whole mess. What a chaotic time. So great job, Nicole. Like, I knew exactly you'd be awesome at this role. You've done a really great job, and I'm really excited to continue to see you working with people. After, and I know you haven't been with us all that long, but I am curious about where you see people through our program, or how you see them transforming, I guess, in the program. What have been some of the insights you've gained through your experience as the client success advocate?
I see amazing individuals who have gotten lost. They've been in a position that's tiring. They've been in a very demanding environment. And I see them really coming out of that and finding out more about who they are. And what I love about that is, especially from a career development perspective, we'll do that for the remainder of our lives. And so being able to share my expertise, which is to know yourself and know what's out there, that can be very disarming to clients. You're like, oh, it's okay that I'm just finding that out about me. I'm like, yes, let me just tell you what I found out about myself yesterday. Like there's that learning that happens and that unlearning that happens. And so, and we know, and you've spoke on this, you're such an expert in this concept, but the imposter, to really be able to dive in, at a very vulnerable time in someone's life is such a privilege to be able to really learn, because from the outside, they're amazing and successful, but they're able to share, how they really feel about themselves and their performance and things. And that can be a very vulnerable time. So I really enjoy seeing them learn and embrace more of who they are and who they want to be.
I like that different perspective. I think the favorite part I I'm actually right now in a mastermind group with a few pharmacists who have already completed their coaching,
Mhm.
and two of them just got job offers. One of them is still in the process of looking and doing interviews. And the thing that I enjoy about them is the momentum that they now have. I've always thought of our company as like a catalyst for
Mhm.
change.
Yes.
And it's really amazing to see people go from not really making any progress or not knowing where to go next to all of a sudden knowing, actually not really knowing, but experiencing, I have these opportunities now and I don't know which one to pursue. I
Yes.
I have people approaching me for opportunities and for jobs or side gigs, side hustles, businesses. Um, that's my favorite part
Mm.
because it's I don't know. It's like I'm constantly chasing after that jolt of excitement, I suppose.
Mhm.
I joke with my wife sometimes that like there's nothing like the first time that you touched my shoulder.
Aw.
That excitement feeling uh of love that I experience with my wife has changed over time, but it's still present. And
Mhm.
I love that same kind of feeling, not romantic. Hold on now. I'm saying this publicly on a podcast. We're not getting romantic here. But it's very similar feeling. It's a feeling
Mhm.
of awakened passion and excitement and motivation to see someone go, "Oh, I have more to give with my career and my life, and I have more that I want to do." Probably comparing it to romance was not the most appropriate analogy, but, like, it's that same kind of jolt, it's that same kind of excitement that I feel, of
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, there's so much possibility." And that is the last time that
Mhm.
I will compare pharmacy careers to romantic relationships.
Well,
That's
I
staying in the podcast.
well, I definitely can relate because one of the things that I really do get a lot of satisfaction from seeing others achieve their goals. I just get so excited, and even just a small increment of a change, um, or progression, I see it, and I get so excited for them, and so I can definitely understand that excitement. And Alex, you created this company on that basis. I mean, this is something that you spend a lot of time with, and it's what I love about it is, you've done it for yourself. You learned how to do it for yourself, and the gift of it is that you're sharing it with others.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, actually, I have to repeat back a compliment to you because you have looked at our program very objectively. Um, I
Mhm.
I tried my best to create an environment in our company where I want us to look at the dumb things that we're doing and what do we need to stop doing and what do we need to do that we're not doing.
Mhm.
Uh, and you've been um, bold enough to call out some of the things that we should be doing or that we need to do more of.
Mhm.
And your presence has, I told this to you, I think yesterday or the day before,
Mhm.
that having you a part of the team has really increased my level of, um, I mean, I guess overall engagement with clients again. I've been so focused on larger picture, bigger picture projects, some
Mhm.
things that I can't share here on the podcast. And you've called out some of the things that we need to do more of. And you've been both directly and indirectly a part of major changes, like our new online community where people are engaging with each other and talking about their goals as well as their blocks. And you've instigated weekly workshops that we're doing. And you've helped start the Doctor is In monthly series that we do. So thank you for your participation, because I mean, it's just helping, it's ending up to help more and more pharmacists, which is really what I think we all want to do. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited about what's happening right now within the Happy PharmD. And I think the aspect for our clients is just, knowing that they're not alone, that they have colleagues out there that are feeling the same way for some of the same reasons. And so that can be so powerful when we get out of that isolation, when we're going through something hard or going through a big change, to know that other people are feeling similar. And that can be hard to do that when you're in a work environment and you can't really share that with their colleagues. So I'm very hopeful that that synergy and literally energy that clients will have together and that engagement will be inspiring to them.
So what is it like working with one of our pharmacist clients?
Well, one of the things that I will share is, and I know I've shared this earlier, I try not to make any assumptions. So I'm not looking up reports or reading notes and coming in to say, this is what's happening and this is what you need. And the irony of that is it's even looking at the patient care process, right? Like really looking at it from, well, I don't know what you did with the other doctor, but here I am. And I really like to, let the client know, first of all, I'm the goalkeeper. If I was to create a really cool name, I would have probably, created goalkeeper as my title.
Change it. There's nothing stopping
I know
us.
you keep saying that. Let's keep it the way it is, just for now, to make the SOP a little bit easier. But I always tell the clients, I'm the goalkeeper. I'm your goalkeeper, not my goalkeeper. So what I found is that really disarms the client right away to say, oh, can I share something with you? And so and that's it. Like learning more about who they are, what they're working on, what their gaps are, and that I'm really here to support them. And also maybe even identify some areas that we might need to make some changes as a company. So I bring that back to the leadership to say, XYZ is happening. And so I think it's really just me not making assumptions and learning more about who they are and what they need even that week, right? And I meet with our clients about every 2 months. And so I always ask them, what question would you like me to ask when we see each other again? And it's just really fun for them to lead the meeting. I always say to any client that I work with, I'm the passenger in the car that you're driving. And I'm just repeating back where you told me you wanted to go and asking you questions if we hit a rough patch or if we're not exactly where we need to be. And so I do that in all of the work that I do is meet the client where they are. So I'm looking forward, like I see them, but I'm really looking forward to continued meetings because at every increment, I'm seeing the growth. At every increment, I'm seeing the wins and the challenges, and so it's just a real honor to be with a person to be able to help with those obstacles and also celebrate those wins because we've got a lot of wins.
Knowing what you know now, and maybe this is like the part of the podcast that we send to future employees of the company. What do you wish you could tell Nicole of a year ago, just starting this journey out with us, knowing what you know now?
I think I would say to me, to, I am in a role where it, on a daily basis, I can't, maybe I'm not as creative or can't be as creative. And so I would probably say that it's okay. Oh, it's a hard one, Alex. I want to say it out loud. It's okay to break things. Like, it's okay to just do it and see how it works. And when you're in certain roles, that's not necessarily something you can do. But as someone that I would say is creative, Alex, you're creative and innovative. I really would probably say to Nicole, trust that he means it, that it's safe. It's safe to do something, and if it doesn't work out, we'll figure out another way to do it. And so that I know that now, but I think that that's something. It's taken me a little bit of time based on my experience in the environments that I've been in, to really trust that process.
Yes. We are not a university. We don't have as many policies. And one of our core values is run fast, break stuff. And you've done a great job of that. I know it's been hard to adjust, but I've seen it. Go ahead.
I also say you've been patient with me, because you really, even at the beginning of this, when it's just so fun that I get to say that I got to create my role, you really let me do it my way. And it was a little bit longer than what we thought, but I appreciated that, because I needed, that's, I think, how we were really developing that trust together. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much.
Well, it's because I appreciate you. And we want you to succeed, and we already know that you have been. So it's been great seeing you transform this into something that is not just, giving you a paycheck, but it's helping people. And so welcome to the team. Keep up the good work. And if people want to connect with you, client or someone who's just, watching, how can someone do that? Would be a good way.
LinkedIn is great. And I have a lot of our clients that connect with me through LinkedIn. And I like that, because then we can stay engaged, and it just doesn't, it's a conversation we can continue to pick up where we left off. And if you don't have a great LinkedIn yet, don't worry about that. You'll work on that with your coach. But there's no shame in that. But LinkedIn is a really great place.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole, for talking with us.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's been great to be here.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Happy PharmD podcast. If you enjoyed it, hey, would you let us know? Comment somewhere on this page. Let us know, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. We appreciate your comments, because they help us direct who we should be talking to and what topics we should be covering on this podcast. If you are interested in getting involved into a program like ours, well, hey, it's free to talk to us, just like talking with a community pharmacist. It doesn't cost you anything. You can talk with one of our career advisors who could let you know about our coach program, giving you the details of what that is, but also sharing more with you about some goals to help you get started. Our career advisors know almost as much about pharmacy as I do, even though they're not pharmacists, but they are really great career advisors, and they can help you set some goals, look at some programs and other things that you may want to consider in your career, and help you jumpstart your journey. Thanks for watching this episode. And until the next one, we'll see you later.